Hi guys. So today we'll be designing this awesome timer that we can use in our projects. For instance, our NFT project, our e-commerce project. We can use this to send a sign of urgency to our users that this item is going off sales or someone has made a bid for this NFT art, for instance, and the timer is reading. You need to throw in your own bid to be able to get this NFT art. So that's the idea around creating this unlimited timer. So I'll be creating it with you today, and by the end of this video, you would see how I made this awesome timer. Let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is to create a text field by using the T. So we'll be working on the seconds now. We're working on the seconds. You create a text field, and you now list them from 59 down to 1. 59 down to 1. So let's do that. 59 to 1 indicates the seconds. You understand? 59 to 1. So we won't be having a 0 seconds, because if we have a 0 seconds, it just doesn't make sense. But we'll be able to manipulate it in a way at the end. Let's see how it goes though. So I've selected my text tool here, and I'll start with 59. Break. Okay, I need to make my text larger because we'll be working with a large timer, for instance. So I'll make it 32. Okay, 32, and let's do bold. Let me change the font to Poppins. Poppins, because Poppins is widely recognized. And then I want to trim my text. Okay, that's good. So here we go. 59, 59, 58. So we have all our texts here. We have all our text here, all our seconds. They are literally in the text field. So what I want to do is I want to align them to the center of this text field. So when we are framing them, we will have an issue. So what I want to do right now is I want to frame this text field. So all I'll just do is, or let me just create a frame instead of framing it directly, just for sizing purposes. So I create a frame, and let's say let me make the height of this frame 40, or maybe 40 is too much. I'm going to reduce it. Okay, so we'll do 50, and we can do 40 and 40. Let's say 40 and 40. I think 40 and 40 is fine. I remove the fill from the frame. All these seconds. Yes, and then remove it into the frame. Okay, let's see. Let's put in the center. Okay. So here we go. We are not seeing the remaining seconds in this frame, in this text field. Why? Because this frame already clips the content. So if we turn off the clip the content here, if we turn it off here, we'll see the remaining seconds. So we have to clip the content. It's very, very important that we clip that content. So we clip the content being the seconds, and then I probably move this to the center of the frame. No, not to the center. If I move it to the center of the frame, it's going to get me back to 30 seconds. So I'll just take it back up and pull it down a bit. Okay, I think I'm satisfied now. It's fine in this position. Let me see. Let me put it at the top again. Let me calculate how many steps I moved downwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I moved 10 steps downward. I'm doing this so I'll be able to achieve a center control, so my timer won't be jumpy. For instance, if I move to 58 seconds, it will maintain the same position of 59 seconds. You understand? That's the point of me doing this. So we have our seconds here. So all we need to do is duplicate this and then select our text field inside our frame and move it to 58. So I'm going to put 58 at the top here and then do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I think that's accurate enough. It's on the same line with 59. That's the point of me mentally doing that. So you do that literally 60 times. So I'm going to fast forward this video now. So we would do that for 60 times. So we are done creating our seconds, duplicating. You can see how long they are. So what I want to do now is I also want to select all of them and probably align them vertically. Let me see if I can't align them vertically that way though. So I'll have to put them in a frame and not a layout frame and then align them vertically. Okay, I think we are good to go this way. So I'll remove that auto layout. I'll frame them. I'll ungroup it. Alright, so they are now individual frames. So these are all the seconds we are going to be working with, as you can see on my screen. So what we'll do now is I'll select all of them. And I'll come down to create down here, select it, then create component set. I'm going to create component set. So there will be there'll be variants in a component. All the seconds will be variants in a component. Basically, that's what I mean. So let's do that. And here we go. As you can see, we have our seconds components, then the seconds in them are variants. So what I want to do now is I want to change their names, because down here you can see it's telling me that their names are default and it's not supposed to be default. You understand? So we need to work on their names. So for me to work on their names, I'll just select all of them. Select one from the bottom and then hold my shift button, select one from the top, so it selects everything for me, and then I press Ctrl R, which is rename, and I'll rename them to seconds and rename them to something like, okay, one thing I need to pay attention to is I need to stick to that property 1 equals to. I need to stick to that property 1 equals to, because that is the property name that would you use for all of them. But then there's no problem with it. I can either use property 1 or any other name, but let me not use property 1. Let me use seconds. So I'll use seconds is equals to second. I'll now use second. This is just me using this name. So the name of the property for this variant is called seconds. Well, the name is seconds, so I'll just rename it like that, second, and then I'll put numbers. So each of the variants will have separate numbers. That's the reason of selecting this number here, or number up or number down, whichever one you select. So each of the variants will have unique names. So if each one of them have seconds, they will have unique names. Do you understand? So let's do that. Now see, they all have unique names. This one, second 57, this one, second 58, 56, 55, all of them have. So now we'll have to come down here. You can see it's giving me a warning sign. This variant is missing one or more properties, which is property 1 that I selected here. So what I'll just do is I'll come to 1 and delete property 1. I'll come and delete this property 1 because I don't want it. I don't need it. You understand? I'll just set seconds default. So it shifts to seconds default. So you see we have seconds now. You see that we don't have that error by the side of our screen anymore. So now what I want to do is I want to select how to now prototype for my seconds. I'll select the 59 and then come down to prototype after delay. be careful when you're prototyping, so you won't be prototyping the text itself, you'll be prototyping the frame itself. After delay, so you're going to select after delay, see a second on Figma is 100 milliseconds. So 100 milliseconds is Figma, not just Figma, generally. 1000 milliseconds is a second. 1000 milliseconds, not 100, 1000 milliseconds is a second. So we are trying to achieve 1000 milliseconds. So yeah, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to select probably 900, right? Or let me select 700. After delay of 700, which is 0.7 seconds, and then the smart animate, maybe we set the smart animate for 300 is out, right? So 700 milliseconds, 300 is out, milliseconds is out. So one thing you should understand is this is not going to be perfect. It is not going to give you the perfect reading of a time and all of that, but it gives you that sense of this is a timer that is going off. I need to make purchase. I need to order this item or something. That's the idea you are trying to put out in your project. For That's why we are doing this animated timer. So let's move from that, create a prototype the same way. We'll do the same thing from 1 to after delay 700. We'll literally do the same thing. So I'm going to, fast forward this video again, and we'll go to the next part of it. So we successfully created prototypes for our seconds. What I want to do now in this instance is I want to duplicate this one. We are not going to have a zero because in our clock, in a digital clock, you don't see that 0 0 seconds. You understand? So what I'll just do is I'll just from here, instead of having that after delay of 700 delay 300 milliseconds, or 800 delay 200 milliseconds, we can have after delay of 800 milliseconds or 1000 milliseconds. 1000, you can say that 1000 milliseconds, then instant. We are not smart animating that last one, then instant. Then the one at the bottom, we now have to do a prototype that takes it up to the top to number 59. It's the 59th second. You understand? So we are trying to create that realistic. This is a realistic timer thing. So we are back to 59 after delay of say 700. Then smart animate at 300. So is out at 300. So we successfully created our seconds. So let's see what our seconds will look like if we decide to test it. Let me draw out an imaginary frame here, and it's not an imaginary frame, it's a real frame. But then it's not the frame we are going to use to work on our timer. We might even use it. Who knows? Let's see how it goes. Let's play this, and we'll see what happens. So it's loading up. You can see that 56, 55, 54, 53, 52, 51, 50, 49. It's giving you that realistic timer vibe, you understand? So if we are going to time this with a real time clock, I think we should time this with a real clock. Let me see how fast it's going to be. Let me get my second phone and turn on my stopwatch. Let's see if we can get a real sense of a timer. Okay, so this is my second phone, and we want to work with a stopwatch. So I'm going to restart this prototype, and let's see if we are accurate. This is just a test, it's nothing serious. Okay, let me use timer instead. So we're trying to get to 59 seconds. All right, so this is my timer at 59 seconds, and I'm going to restart this. So let's go. Okay, you can see on my phone Currently, we are on 47 seconds, and here on my screen, we are on the same seconds. We are literally working in the same timeline, if you can notice my screen. So we were able to get the exact seconds, but I can't assure you that we would get the exact, what's it called? I can't assure you that we would get the exact time, minutes. Minutes are always difficult to hack, but then we'll try in this video to hack the minutes together. So here we go. We have our timer and our stopwatch working in sync. So we successfully created the seconds on our timer. Successfully created the seconds. You can still see this. So here we go. So perfect. We successfully created that. So now let's move on to creating our seconds. I mean our minutes. We've created our seconds. Now we want to create our minutes. So 60 seconds make 1 minute, right? So, but in Figma, the maximum amount of seconds you can work with is 20 seconds, not 60 seconds. So that gives us a bit of like issues with hacking that system, with creating a smooth prototype directly with that system. So what we have to do is we have to hack it in a way that will, okay, 20 seconds, that's going to be 20 times 3, 60, 60,000 milliseconds, which is 60 seconds, which is 1 minute. You understand? So Figma gives us just 20,000 milliseconds to work with. So now what we want to do is we need to duplicate the seconds and the minutes. So just like we did it with the seconds, I'm not going to go as far as 59 hours or something. No, we are going to work, 59 minutes. No, we are going to just work with like 10 minutes. Let's say 59 minutes to, okay, we are not working with 10 minutes. We are going to work with just 3 minutes, 59 minutes to 57 minutes, because nobody's going to stay on our project for that long. Just to monitor the timer, it doesn't make any sense. So what we just do is we use 59 and 59 to 57. So we have 3 minutes timer, then seconds. We've created the seconds already. So let's create the 3 minutes timer. So what I want to do is on my what I'll just do is I'll pull out one of these guys here. I'll probably pull out 50. I'll duplicate it, not pull out. I'll select it, hold my alt button on Windows, hold my alt button and pull it out. So you see I've created a duplicate of that. So what I'll just do is I'll come down here and detach the instance. Control to B to detach the instance, or you right click and then go down to detach instance. So you detach the instance. So we successfully detached it. I want to name this minutes. So what I'm going to do in this minute is I'm going to duplicate this. And so we said something about 20,000 milliseconds. So I am duplicating it into 359s, because 20,000 times 3 is what makes 60,000. So what makes 60 seconds? It's what makes 1 minute. You understand? So we have 59 in 3 places. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to duplicate the last 59, but then in this instance we are moving it to 58. So you get it. Let me pull down my line so I'll be able to create the right angle of measurement. Okay, let me not use it in this direction. Let me use it from this direction. Let's start with this direction first so we don't make mistakes. It's very important that we stay in the same line, just to create that bit of consistency and accuracy. Okay, so I put this line in this frame. I'm not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be outside it. So no, I don't want it to be on the frame. Okay, what we'll do is, in this case, we'll select the free of, then we'll select the 3 minutes frame. So select them and I'll push them upward. Okay, So if you notice my 58 is a bit upward, so I have to pull my 58 downward a bit. So you see all of them are on the same, I want them to be on the same line, you understand? So I'm going to duplicate 58 again. So 58 in three places successfully duplicated. I'll pull my seconds down just to, then we are going to do the same for 57. I'm going to pull 57 upwards, 57 minutes. So there we go, 57, and then we duplicate in three places. One, two, three. So, but then we successfully done this like we did in the previous step. I was going to raise a concern, but as we go on, we'll see the concern I want to raise. I don't want to start raising the concern now. So we select everything, and then like we did with seconds, we will create multiple components. Or we'll create, I mean, not multiple components, we'll create a component set. So we'll select create more component sets. Like you notice, we have the error again, and like we did in the previous this thing, all you just have to do is select one of this, that's, and then move up to the top, and then use your shift button, then click the last one. You see, selects everything for, instead of you to use control in selecting one by one, you understand? So that does it for you. It works across all Windows applications, um all Windows applications, even in certain design tools online. If you are using Canva, for instance, and you use Shift A, Shift A would do the same function it would do on Windows for you. So it's literally a general thing. Shift A to select certain specific elements at once. So now I want to do is, what I want to do is rename, Control R to rename, and then remember I'll use minutes. I'll use minutes is equals to minutes, and then I'll use time and the seconds, I mean the number going up, so so I'll be able to give each of the variants unique names. So rename. Now you notice all the variants have unique names. We have 50 minute 08, minute 07, minute 06, minute, you understand? They have unique names. So I'll come down here and I'll change this guy's name to minutes. So there won't be error anymore. So you notice there's no error anymore. There's no error anymore. So that's literally that. So now what we want to do is prototype as usual. After delay. So this one will be after delay. We said the maximum it allows us to do is 20,000 seconds, right? So we'll see after delay of, let's say, 19,800. Let's put it at 19,800. And then is out of 200. I'm just trying to have this. I don't know if it's going to work, but let's see if it's going to work. I've done this before actually. I'm not going to lie. And I didn't get the exact timing in terms of minutes, but I got the exact timing in terms of seconds. So I'm trying to see if I can hack it this time if it will work. So 19,800, then 200 is out. After delay, you literally repeat the same thing. 19,800 is out, 200. Let's see if it's going to work out. If it works out this time, I'll be so excited. We are literally done. Literally done. We are literally done. So we have the minutes and we have the seconds. So now I want to test the minutes and the seconds, right? I'm going to hold on my alt on the 59 minutes, and then probably, and oh sorry, I'm seeing the prototype, that's why it's doing that. Hold alt and drag it down here. So they are literally in the same line, right? So what I want to do is I want to create a text in between them, text, and then I do my, yes. So we literally have 59 minutes, 59 seconds, all this together. Pull them here. So I'll do the same thing for the hour. Let's do the same thing for the hour. Let me come down here and do it here. Then Control D, and then I put 2 hours. So this will be the hours. We are not creating anything for the hours, because I don't see the point of creating anything for the hours. No one is going to turn our design for hours. You understand? So here we go. We have them separately on this, and then probably I just want to frame them. Shift A, and okay, put them in center. If you notice, this guy is pushing upwards because, of course, it's not in a frame like the timer. They are not. All these guys are just individual text elements. I didn't put them in a frame. It's just a tutorial. If you want to do that, you can do that. This is just a tutorial, so I'll just name this timer. I'm going to style this up a bit just to, give it a different look and feel. I'll style it up. Let me style it up. Let me design this. So I probably want to go with linear and select white. So something, probably something like this. Now this is fine. Let me go from left to right. From left to right. Okay, I think this is fine. Okay. So I probably want to. I think I'm fine this way. So I probably want to come down to my effects. I probably want to come down to my effect and make this blur. Do a layer blur or a background blur rather. I make a background blur and then probably push the background blur upwards and then pull this guy down to say 20%. Okay, so it's on 20% now. I draw my main, let's say I have my own main iPhone frame. I create a new frame and put probably an iPhone 14 and then take out my timer and put in that down here, change the style of my iPhone and then do this. Okay, so I might change my linear color a bit because I want on both sides there should be 100% opacity on both sides, so the middle will just be having that transparency. Yeah, this is what I want. Okay, so let's test our iPhone 14, create a flow point, and then let's test it. Let me restart that. So let's see if our minute is going to move in with our seconds. We'll see at the end of this. I don't know why I flipped to 47 there. I think we probably made a mistake somewhere there. We'll look at it later. In 47, it's not supposed to disappear, it's supposed to move up. So probably the prototype I set at 47 wasn't perfect. Our main concern is the minutes here. We've figured out the seconds, but can we get the minutes to move on with the seconds? If we can get the minutes to move on with the seconds, then we've done a great job. Did I skip a number there? Oh, yes, we did it. We're able to literally get it in the same time to move. So that is how you create a stopwatch, a timer on Figma. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You can see I'm excited I was able to get to the exact second. I would still work on perfecting this, and in the file that I'll be leaving in this tutorial, there'll be a file in the bio, in the description of this tutorial rather, there'll be a file there. It's going to be a Figma file. You'll be able to duplicate it and see how I did it and work on your own, and you can watch this tutorial time and time again to make this top timer. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I expect you to subscribe if you've not subscribed. And please, if you subscribe, you can turn on the notification bell so you get an alert every time I post a video. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. See you next time.